is Sky News with Bob Friend, live from Hong Kong.
Hello again from Hong Kong on the night the colony is about to be handed back to China. At last the moment has arrived. After 156 years of British rule, China takes over the vibrant and enormously successful island of Hong Kong and the new territories. Time has run out. On the stroke of midnight, just 1 hour from now, Britain loses one of its proudest possessions. For once, not a case of Britain granting a former colony independence. This time, China, the world's largest communist country, will be in charge of a staunchly capitalist community. During the next hour, there will be joint handover ceremonies representing Britain. Prince Charles, the formalities over, the Prince and Governor Chris Patten board the Royal Yacht Britannia and sail away into the night. Again, Sky News will be bringing it all to you live. It's been an extraordinary day, marred only by reports that China was preparing to send 4,000 troops over the border into Hong Kong on the stroke of midnight, 6 hours earlier than agreed with the British authorities. Let's look back now on this momentous day, and what a day it's been. Images that will stay forever. Michael Sullivan reports.
The staff of Government House, the seat of British authority in Hong Kong, filed out of the building to gather on the lawn, their faces already showing the strain of holding back the tears. After several days of farewell ceremonies and goodbye parties, this was the moment of truth for Chris Patten, the 28th and last governor of Hong Kong, leaving the grand official residence that the Chinese will turn into a VIP guest house or even a museum for the last time. The British exit from Hong Kong is choreographed to be proud and dignified, but the governor's shoulders were rounded, his gait reluctant, his expression showing his deep unhappiness at the event, as he watched an honour guard of the Royal Hong Kong Police give a display of precision arms drill. There's been anxiety about the future role of the Hong Kong Police as the Chinese People's Liberation Army prepared to enter Hong Kong by land and sea. But the Chinese Foreign Secretary has assured his British counterpart, Robin Cook, that the army will be there for external security and the police force would still be responsible for internal security. An hour after the departure from Government House, the Chinese leader, Jiang Zemin, arrived at Hong Kong's Kai Tak Airport. Stepping into the rain that has apparently come to stay for the whole of the evening's ceremonies, the first Chinese head of state to set foot in the British colony throughout the time that the Chinese are still describing as 100 years of national shame. He was not to be present at the British part of the handover ceremony, which began soon after his arrival. British and United States ministers are to stay away from the inauguration of the new Hong Kong legislature, which will be stripped of its elected members to be replaced by Beijing's placemen. The governor and Prince Charles drove to the site of the handover ceremony, still awash in the warm rain, to watch the spectacular run-up through the evening to the lowering of the Union flag. A colourful display of the Chinese culture which has flourished throughout British rule, and which Hong Kong is confident will not be dulled by the political conformity of Hong Kong's new masters.
What we celebrate this evening is the restless energy, the hard work, the audacity of the men and women who have written Hong Kong's success story. Mostly Chinese men and Chinese women. They were only ordinary in the sense that most of them came here with nothing. They are extraordinary in what they have achieved against the odds. As British administration ends, we are, I believe, entitled to say that our own nation's contribution here was to provide the scaffolding that enabled the people of Hong Kong to ascend. The rule of law, clean and light-handed government, the values of a free society, the beginnings of representative government and democratic accountability. This is a Chinese city, a very Chinese city with British characteristics. Now, Hong Kong people are to run Hong Kong. That is the promise, and that is the unshakable destiny.
It was almost dark as Governor Patton ended his speech and took his seat to show once again that the tears were not far away. Then it was the turn of the British Armed Forces, which have been present in Hong Kong, to make their military contribution to the pageantry of the occasion. The hour of their final withdrawal was close.
Britain is part of Hong Kong's history, and Hong Kong is part of Britain's history. We are also part of each other's future. We are confident that the ties between us will not only endure, but will continue to develop.
The British flag was lowered at sunset, the very climax of that part of the ceremony designed to celebrate the years of British rule as well as mark the end of it. It was followed by a spectacular fireworks display, which the rain did nothing to dampen. But 3 hours before the official end of British rule, the Chinese People's Liberation Army made an early appearance at the border crossing into Hong Kong. The soldiers sat motionless and silent in rows in buses and open-top trucks, waiting implacably for the signal to move across the border. And when they did move, it was 13 minutes earlier than the agreed time, scoring yet another point and setting a chill over the burgeoning confidence that Hong Kong would be spared the full iron grip of the Beijing government. Michael Sullivan, Sky News.